All right, so today we are going to put together the bottom half of this engine, take some measurements. We have our awesome spread of some of the parts we're going to be putting on today. We are sticking with the factory rods on this car, new bearings, new wrist pin bearings. We are going to install Woosner pistons with a nice coating from Swantech on there. We're using their ring stack. We won't be putting the cylinder head on, but the cylinder head's ready to go. Crank is stock, just been checked and balanced and all that stuff, so that's good to go. We do have a nice turbo sitting here from Turbo Tim. Amazing job redoing that. This is a stage 1. So with this engine, we're gonna have a little bit more horsepower. We're not going over the top, but that's why we didn't change the rods. So we're not looking for 30 pounds of boost or anything like that. This is gonna be Eric's engine in his black 951 to drive around, have fun, spoil his wife with. So today we're going to check ring gaps. I'll show you some of the tools we have available to us at the moment. This is a nifty little Amazon deal. This is to set the height of the ring inside the cylinder bore evenly so that you can measure it afterwards with your feeler gauges. So it's fully adjustable for any bore. So once you buy it, you can use it for multiple cylinders. You turn these and these move around. It works out pretty good. It's a nice little deal. Full aluminum. We have our ARP piston installer. Put the piston with the rings. It's tapered inside. Put it over your cylinder and you can just push them down nice. They work a lot easier than the old school, I don't have one up here, but the crimpy ones that hang up on the rings and they're just a pain in the butt. We have a ring filer. So once we check our ring gap, end gap, we can file the rings down and get our gaps correct. We do have plastic gauge, but I don't know if we'll get into that yet today. This is the wrist pin for the piston, their clips, their directions. We have our fluids that you use for building a 951. Loctite 574. That's what you use to seal the girdle and some other stuff on the engine. Curel? I don't know how you say that. But this also is for gaskets and stuff. Just your generic assembly lube to help the process go better. And I do have a cup of motor oil, which a lot of times I'll just stick my finger in, give the piston a little dab on there, or the bore a little dab so I can measure it without scratching stuff up. Everything is clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness in the engine department. So our first step is we're going to take our top ring. We're going to take a little bit of lube on our finger. Nothing crazy. Come over to the cylinder. We're just going to coat it a little bit so we don't scratch it up. And everything goes nice and smooth. And we have Superman Eric over here.
You guys building an engine or something?
Just yours, no big deal.
Is this our OEM Plus?
So we place this in nice and light. Don't go crazy, take your time. You don't want to snap nothing. OEM Plus build with Eric. So he knows what goes on in his engine. So you can also do this. A lot of guys will take the piston and you can just push it down with the piston so it's even across the board. That's kind of like the garage way of doing it. But I saw this tool and I wanted to try it, and since Eric was paying for it, why not, right? You hear that a lot?
Yeah.
If Eric's paying for it, it's okay?
Yeah, we'll try it.
Sorry, I didn't have this preset up, so. Huh?
What does that tool do I paid for?
This tool sets the ring gap height so I can measure it correctly and make sure. All this stuff, I believe, was checked by the machine shop we used. What were they?
They were Carlquist.
Carlquist?
Carlquist, famous engine builder here in Connecticut.
Here in Connecticut, okay. I'm pretty sure all that was already checked, but just for peace of mind, we check it again. When you're looking at your Woosner sheets, on here, it shows you what you would think would be the ring end gaps for the rings. That's not the case. Make sure you read correctly, kids. It says, the chart below illustrates some typical ring end gaps. Based on general guidelines, to calculate the ring end gap, multiply the cylinder bore diameter in inches by the end gap mentioned on the chart below. So we got to do some math. And we did some math. We do the math on it, and what did we get for a ring end gap on this car? Was acceptable around 0.021 inches. We're actually a teeny bit tighter than that. 0.018 and 0.019 fit. A little tight on that, and 2.0 is tight. So we're a little tighter than what I wanted to be, but we're also not going crazy with this engine. If you were running a lot of boost, I would recommend bumping up the ring end gap, because what happens is more boost makes more heat in the cylinder. The piston rings expand with heat, the cylinder expands, but you get some crazy clearances, and the ring ends can hit. And if they hit and bind, they push out and they blow up your cylinder, destroy the bore, all that fun stuff. So you got to be careful with your ring end gaps. So that's how you check that. Ideally, you do it for each cylinder bore. We won't bore you with that on camera, but that's the gist of it. Then you do the same thing for your second ring. Drop it down there, measure it just like we did. Check your charts, make sure you're reading them correctly. Reading gets you pretty far, kids. And then there's different specs for your oil control rings. So we'll do all that off of camera. I'm going to check all the bores first, but I may use the ring filer, and we can make a different video on that real quick. But you're basically just taking your ring, you put it on the file, and you turn that crank, and you could file the gap to be bigger. We might go like a smidge bigger, just to make sure that if Eric does decide to turn the boost up, we have reassurance that we're not going to have any problems. I've read multiple things. I think Porsche calls for like 0.02, I think it was. Lindsay Racing, they said they run theirs about 0.015 to 0.016, so they're a little bit tighter. I'll probably pick something where in the middle of that. I run factory on mine, and I haven't had any problems, and I run 26 PSI of boost. So I don't know how much relation there is to, I know it's a true story that they could butt and destroy the cylinder. I haven't seen it yet, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I would definitely follow the specs that you find. Don't just guess and throw it together. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to spin this motor over after I take the safety wire I put on here off, because for whatever reason on these engine stands, they don't like to use detent pins. Should be a detent pin on this, whoever makes these, so it snaps in and stays in there and doesn't fall and holds tight. But it's a good stand, but nothing fancy. I'm sure bigger dollar ones have that, but anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the crank in. See what I mean? Things don't like to line up on certain stuff, but just flops out. Come on, make that better. Anyways, we take this girl off. We are going to drop the crank in. We're going to put our Loctite on this, and we're going to bolt everything down. This was just on here for the machine shop to assemble, but we are going to pop it off. We're not going to bore you with the whole process of taking it off. It's nothing special, just taking some screws off. And then we will put our crank in. But yeah, they assembled all this so they could check it at the machine shop. So all of our clearances right now should be in spec, but I like to check it just to make sure that somebody didn't do something weird, including us. That was like one of my lifetime dreams.
Yeah.
To be on Motor Trend. Those guys are cool. I used to like Roadkill Garage. You ever watch those guys?
Never saw that.
They ended that, but that was a pretty good show.
You remember, what was it, Trucking?
Yep.
That was a
Trucking
classic.
was good. Hot Rod TV. They got all kinds of good ones. But lately, I think they cut back on a lot of them. It was crazy. They changed the station up. I know some of them are on there, but
Well, now you know your brother Jesse James. He's got his own TV.
my
channel.
brother. It's not my brother. Be cool though. It would be cool. He does. I think he's got his own channel,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. He's always been badass. We love you, Jesse. He was a cool guy.
I'll tell you my quick Jesse James story. I've been to his shop in Austin, but he wasn't there. It was closed, but we took a photo. When Wendy and I were in Jamaica, I threw something to his Instagram, and he wrote right back.
Really?
And I was like, whoa. And then I wrote back again. He wrote right back. I'm like, whoa. Because he has some new book coming out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm like,
At least he responds. A lot of those guys are like, I don't have time for you peons.
And I go, is it going to be an audio book? And he's like, actually, yes.
I think all books come out on audio now.
Yeah,
don't they?
but I wanted him to read it too. It's nice when the guy who writes it reads it, because then you really hear it.
You wanted somebody to read to you, right?
Yeah. I thought I explained I can't read.
Just an engineer, can't read,
Yeah.
make stuff up. Thank God for AI, right?
I'll give you a tour of some of my books.
You should, yeah.
Not the ones I've
Give him a
written.
tour of the background. You got some cool stuff up there.
Hardest course at one of the hardest courses at UConn, a weed out class, linear systems and I can't read. No, linear
I swear we're smart.
I can't read vertical. Anyways, well, that's my tour. Oh, hey, look at that. The big book of Jesse James.
There you go, dude. You got
go.
that one?
Oh, it's what is it? 3 separate books?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get that, dude. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
How did I not know he made that?
Man, they were making money.
Sorry, Jesse.
Yeah.
Well, you got some cool Matchbox cars up there. 944 Matchbox cars.
Yeah, Wendy's been collecting these at all the when we go to all the things. It's crazy how much they cost. Like
One of them.
$30.
Matchbox cars are expensive. Yeah.
By the way, I sent you a photo. I'll show it to you right now, just so we know how much time it took.
I saw my phone go off and my hands were greasy, so I didn't touch it.
It's okay.
How did you do that already, dude? What?
Nice.
That would take me like 3 weeks to do every day.
That's why I say stop doing that.
I have to learn.
No, you don't. You have to put ring gap piston things in.
I can't even do that apparently.
Right? Why are you here?
I'm here for those odd questions you like to send me during the workday.
That's true. P.S. Why are engine stands so small? Like you feel like you're gonna hurt your back leaning over. Like,
Well,
shouldn't it be
yeah,
like
you know,
this
I
shape?
already had a nice gripe about that this doesn't have a detent pin to hold it in there nicely. But I agree. It should be like up here,
Yeah.
nice. You probably have to move the wheels out a little bit so it doesn't get so tipsy. But
I think
maybe if this doesn't work out, we should start making engine stands.
weld engines.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to sponsor us and send us a real nice engine stand so we can debut you in our podcast.
Yeah, because follow me. We got plenty of engines, so I'd love to upgrade.
Gonna need some more stands.
Yeah, we can replace this one. This is an original 951 out of the white car. This is an original 951 out of the gray car. And this is the 968 that's going to Pikes Peak. So, and look, it's standless. Actually, it's going to the machine shop, but let's pretend it's standless. But we need them, you know? And you know what drives me nuts? You know this. 2 different colors. Now, I can't see the colors, but I still don't like it. So it'd be really cool if one company had access to 5 stands and we can color match the whole thing and give them a shout out.
What color would you prefer?
See-through.
See-through, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
That stupid oil tray I was so happy about lasted 1 month sitting there.
You gotta
Because-
check that out. It was a nice, it looked nice when you got it. It was a nice plastic tray that sat at the bottom of this, fit the stand nice.
It
to
like
collect anything that
it like
fell.
wasn't oil resistant.
Yeah.
It like
And it
melted.
crumbled in like a week.
Yeah, but I think we do. I don't know. Probably what, black, red, match the
I
floor.
would match, yeah.
Yeah, black would be nice.
So we got to make sure that this oil galley is super clean because when we put the girdle on, we put Loctite in between there. And it's what's the term, Eric, when the sealant dries in absence of air? Something.
Is that anaerobic?
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. See, I told you. Just got to outwork them. You don't got to be smart.
You knew what you meant.
I knew what I meant, yeah. I'll get you there. That's all that matters, you know? All right. And on this side, we'll do the same thing. Now, again, like I've stated before, the machine shop has already checked all these main bearings for clearance. And we had the bearings are coated as well. So normally you'd go through, and I brought some, you'd use your plastic gauge, you'd put it on the bearing, you'd fit your crank in, you'd torque it all up, and you check the clearance to make sure your oil clearances are correct. Our machine shop did that. We did that off camera. So we're good to go. Nothing to worry about here, right, Eric? Hope not. No, it'll be good. So this is the galley from the oil pump feeds the galley, goes through here, goes into the block, feeds your mains, feeds everything else in the car. So the way Porsche does it is they have you use Loctite, and you put a nice bead through here and seals it up. What we typically do, and I don't think we have one, right? A small like paintbrush roller. It's fine if we don't. I'll just use my finger. That's fine. So I've seen people use this in a small tray with a roller. They roll it on so it's super nice and even. We're not going to do that. We're going to do the old-fashioned finger way and just get some on our finger, put it on here, smooth it out. I'll do the same on that, and then we'll be ready to drop our crank in. So I know this looks terrible at the moment, but we're going to spread it out and make it even with our finger. And we're probably going to get 100 comments. It's, oh, you do it. It looks like SHIT. Well, we're improvising in the garage like you do most times. And we're going to make it pretty afterwards. Right, Eric?
I think so. What do you say?
Just say yeah. We're fine.
Yeah. In Dave we trust.
It's going to run. It's going to run. Don't worry. So it's not like RTV. You don't want to put like a ton on there. Well, you should never put a ton of RTV on anyways, but we'll just smooth it out, make it nice, and we'll do the same thing on the block side. Make sure if it goes in like that, you get some of it out. So I'll use my knife and just clean some of that out of there after we're done. But this stuff only dries, Eric, in the absence of air.
Yes.
So we don't have to
Rush.
What's really nice is all these parts were super clean because you had them vapor honed, right?
Yep.
By Connecticut Vapor Honing.
Yep.
And then the machine shop also cleaned up again.
Yeah, this sparkly new. Well, because we, try not to cut any corners around here.
Except I'm sealing on with my fingers, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, good thing you didn't tell me what you needed before you came.
I did.
What, you told me you needed a little paint roller?
It's on that list that we made last time we were here, Eric.
We need a small sponge roller
Yes.
because that's how you apply this stuff. Makes it super easy.
Someone didn't transcribe it correctly.
Unless I blame Cooper and say he didn't write it down.
Let's read it, shall we?
It's probably not on there then. If you're going to read that out loud, it's probably not on there.
Balance shaft bearings. I could also skip it and just lie. But,
Fair enough, dude.
small sponge roller.
Yep.
You got me.
Nice.
Got it? Right.
So we both had a lesson in reading comprehension today. Mine was measurements, which were vitally important. Yours was just a goofy list.
I told you I can't read. And now we know you can't do math.
Yeah. So the both of us together should be fine.
You're right.
I'll read. You'll do the math.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of this is going to squeeze in there anyways, but I want to make sure that if we can keep it clean, we will. So now we're putting a little assembly lube on the bearings because we don't want to scuff them up. This one slides over the crank. When I get the crank. And again, best tool in the world, your finger. All right, make sure that pin lines up. Well, it doesn't really matter. I got to slide that over the crank anyways, but get these nice and covered. Again, we're using fingers, but you want to relatively make sure that everything is clean that you're doing. Don't.
Glove?
Nah, it's fine.
I know we got gloves.
So let's take this bearing and right on the front here. We just got to make sure it lines up right when we put it on there. Now we're playing with a crank. Hey Eric, can you come here for a sec? Sure. You want to hold the front of this? Don't drop it down all the way because the front bearing is not lined up.
Hold the front?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Just like the snout.
Hold this?
Yeah. And lower it down. Just don't drop yours in all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. And we make sure that that's not lined up, but we'll get it there. Pick up the back a little bit. going to be heavy. Just
Wait, hold on. Okay.
there we go. Now it's all lined up and in there, brother. All right.
Feel
Let's
good?
put a little bit more on here. We're going to spin it and see.
Yeah.
Should be. Everything checked out according to our awesome machine shop.
Nice.
You don't have to go crazy with the lube either. But it does feel good. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Cool.
Now we drop on the girdle. There are pins on it that have to drop in, and sometimes that could be a pain in the butt. Why does that not want to drop in? There we go. All right. And you can see some of the sealant squishes out, but that's no big deal. The other thing you want to make sure when you're doing this is up front here, and the Porsche manual will say it, you got to make sure the two halves don't have a big hangover, hangover, because the oil pump mates to this surface and you don't want it to be there. In case there's a little tiny bit right there, take a plastic hammer and just tap it back until you can feel that it feels right. This side's pretty good. That side we gotta go a little more. And there you go. And you're nice and flush. For when you put that oil pump on, you'll be good to go. And then we tighten up our hardware. As manuals like to say, installation is the reverse of removal. Which is super helpful when you find things you didn't take apart. The other thing you want to pay attention to on these motors, right here is where the oil pickup tube goes. There's different washers. So the big thick washer does not go there. The thinner washer goes there. I'm not going to tighten that one until we go get the pickups, and we'll discuss what we found on the oil pickup tube from, I think it was from this engine. It might have been from one of our other ones, but we're using it on this engine. The oil pickup tubes on these are notorious because they can crack sometimes. So if you are doing a rebuild, I would recommend getting a new one every time. They usually only crack if you time your motor wrong and it's super shaky. The other thing, bolts longer. This one's for the oil return. Hey buddy, you got the paint pen? Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I forgot to grab that. My apologies, sir. I just like to keep bothering you when you're going to go do something.
That's all right. I mean, that's okay.
All right, so these are our oil pickups. This one I don't think was from this engine. It's from one of our other ones over there. But the one we found in this engine has been modified. You can see someone welded a ring around this so it picks oil up from deeper in the pan, doesn't aerate it where oil can seep in the side or air gap and suck in air. It's also been reinforced down here. The tab is welded on both sides where it's not on this one. Just to beef it up a little bit. Not that it should be a problem, but we'll be all right. I do have to get the gasket for this, so we have to find that.
I believe we have one right here.
So as you can see, this goes here. Once it bolts down, it'll all fit in there nicely, and that's your oil pickup. So we're gonna use the updated pickup here, make it super nice for us. And we'll love that. Make sure that fits. Yeah, that fits nice. So I put a little bit of RTV in there. Make sure I grab the right pump. Just to give the gasket a little bit of a fighting chance in there. And this guy goes right there.
That's pretty looking.
It's almost like a real motor.
My God, I haven't seen one of these in a long time. An assembled motor.
Weird, right? Wow. And then I will chase these down, not torque them yet.
Let's just stop here and turn it into a coffee table.
You want to?
Yeah.
All right. Get another motor.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool, though, to be honest.
I can buy a 2.7 for about $2,500.
Yeah, I got one. You want it?
Yeah.
Good luck finding a head for it.
Well, that's why it's a coffee table.
If anybody wants to donate a 2.7 944 cylinder head to me, that'd be great. I have a block sitting at home, but I cannot, for the life of me, find the proper cylinder head for it.
Add it in the comments, right?
Yeah. Yep. At dgun951. Because for those of you that don't know, the 2.7 cylinder head is different than the 2.5 cylinder head on the M4411 engine. It has different intake ports, has a different coolant passage, and the bore is slightly different because you're going from a 100 millimeter bore to a 104. My car is currently apart, but not because it's broken, because we're in the process of upgrading many things. We did,
With our new sponsors.
yeah, we did a CSF radiator fan kit and shroud. I did a bunch of powder coating through Eric over here.
You have a new fuel rail?
I have a new nuke fuel rail going on there, which is going to be awesome, which requires some redesigning of other things. We're going to do a nuke fuel pressure regulator, nuke fuel lines. So nuke, expect some orders coming in. And then, what else did I do, Eric? Oh, the fuel injectors.
Yes.
The ID 1050X fuel injectors that we got from Injector Dynamics are going in. And a prototype larger throttle body.
Yes. And new vacuum manifold
Yes.
soon. How many of those are you going to take?
I don't know. We got to figure that out, to be honest. I haven't messed with that yet. So we're just snugging them up. We're not going crazy yet. I'll look up the torque specs, and then we will tighten this in the right way,
Always have to get
right
torque
sequence.
spec. Do they go an extra turn?
Oh no, these are factory studs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they go normal specs.
Okay.
I thought for a minute you might have gotten ARP ones. I was like, oh, we do have an ARP head stud over there. Check this out. From our friends over at ARP. We have a whole nice head stud kit we got to put on this car as well. So that's going to be sick. So Eric has a bulletproof motor.
Look, it looks like us in the back.
Yeah.
Cooper's in the engine.
Actually, one of those guys looks like Bob. Our nice Snap-on torque wrench. Purchased with my own money because Snap-on doesn't want to help us out yet. Yet's the key word. Right, Eric?
They just don't know us yet.
Right. Got to get our name out there. Will it go? Will it go? Yes, it goes. So we always do it in a crisscross pattern so that it torques down evenly. And then what I usually do is I'll just go back through, make sure we're okay on all of them without going crisscross. Now, we do have to do these guys. The stage 2 on here is a 60-degree torque angle on those big boys. And this is partially where we can come up, get this ready so that we can do it correctly. After we're done torquing it, mark it so you don't sit there and go, did I torque that? I don't know if I torqued that right. So we got to bring it down to 60 degrees. Boom. Eric, you want to hold this engine stand because it might want to move. So I'm going to I torque the mains first, and then we'll go through and do the smaller ones. But ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to use an extension on that one.
This is first stage or second?
This is second stage for these guys. Okay. So the main ones are tight. And we just go wink.
That's the verify.
Yep, so after we eat our shop burgers, I don't come back and go, what did we torque? You know what we're not going to do? We're not going to mark this one as torqued because I want to get a crow's foot on it and torque it correctly. But it's really only like 20 foot-pounds and then a different 37, so we can kind of just snug it up right now. All right, there is a stage 2 to both of those. We've got to kick these up to 37, and then we'll paint them. These little guys are always sketchy. All right, we're all torqued up minus that bolt right there because we're going to get crow's feet and do that. But everything else on the bottom end is good to go. Except we got to put the rods and stuff in afterwards, but yeah.